probably the guy who probably made the most money for himself and had the best film this week was Mike Green. Mike Green, the Marshall MVP of the Marshall Thundering Herd, team captain of the Marshall Thundering Herd, 6'4", 250-pound defensive end, Mike Green, dominated the one-on-ones, abused that Oregon tackle, Connerly. Oh, my God. Some amateur draft scouts says Mike Green with 17 sacks. Yep, led the nation. I mean, this guy is really something. This is probably the most impressive guy this week. I got to be honest. He's from Williamsburg, Virginia. He didn't just lead the nation with 17 sacks. He set the Sun Belt Conference record. I mean, this guy is incredible. 22 and a half tackles for loss. He started at Virginia, UVA transfer. Everybody wanted this guy. I mean, literally, I was looking at the list of offers he had. He had 25 offers for college. He chose Virginia and then transferred to Marshall. And the strength and the size. Some people are just going to say no because, he doesn't fit every scheme. He's 6'4", 250. So, if you're one of these teams that, like the Niners typically like, their defensive ends to be more like 265, 270 in that range. But, man, I would never pass on this guy. I mean, this is the guy. If somehow you could get Walter Nolan or Shamar Stewart and Mike Green with your first two picks, that might be the goal of the draft. I mean, this guy is something else, man. And this guy checks all the boxes. And when I say that, what am I talking about? Okay, first of all, very productive player. I start there. If you don't produce, you're no good. This guy produces. I mean, look at this. I mean, he's just moving these guys. Now, this one, he got kind of stonewalled. But for the most part, I mean, there you got a little spin move. Look at the way he closed there. I mean, this guy's used to sacking the quarterback. He's had some amazing reps down here in Mobile where you're just watching him against really good players and he's just bulldozing them or just running right through them or running right by them. Look at that. Look at that. I mean, that right there, this is not an every down occurrence. Look at this. This is a 250-pound man going against a 310-pound man. Sit on your keister, big fella. I mean, that's just decleating him. Oh, look what he does to Connerly from Oregon. He just threw him down. It's like, I'm going right on by you.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
I mean, that is just beastly, man. He's got the ability to dip the shoulder. He's got the flexibility.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
I would say in this, he looks like 6'2", but he's 6'4", because the guy he's going against is probably like 6'7". But yeah, 6'4", 250, amateur draft scout. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Yeah, I mean, unbelievable. 49er red zone. Destroyed. Yeah. I mean, Mike Green, my goodness. He looked fantastic. But when I say he checks all the boxes, okay, so he was a great high school player. So it's not like sometimes you look at these guys like, they get the 1 year in a great scheme. Maybe they're playing opposite a great player. Anybody could have one great year. But when you're trying to see, the true essence of a player, you got to go back. This guy was a highly decorated high school player. He was widely recruited around the country from Williamsburg, Virginia, goes to UVA, transfers to Marshall, becomes the best defensive. He's the defensive player of the year in the conference. Sun Belt Conference record holder for sacks now. Then you look at, like our, my good friend who makes the freaks list, the great Bruce Feldman from The Athletic. This guy, I'm sure, is on the freaks list. This guy benches 380. He squats 440. I mean, so physically he's got he's got the freaky measurables and the workout numbers. He's got the freaky production, 22 and a half tackles for loss this year, led the nation. 17 sacks, led the nation. And did it in high school, did it in college, did it two different programs. Is he a little undersized? Yeah, he's a little undersized. But man, pound for pound strength off the freaking charts. Mike Green from Marshall. Everybody loves him. Everybody's in love with this guy. Okay, next guy on the list is one of my absolute favorites, and that is Shamar Stewart. Shamar Stewart, the defensive lineman from Texas A&M. And, once again, as I mentioned, I'm an A&M fan, so I do watch a lot of A&M. But this guy, I don't care who he plays for. He's badass. 6'6", 290. And if you see him, you'd swear he's 250. This guy moves like 250, but he's 285, 290. Incredible athlete, 5-star recruit, great high school star, hoop star and football star from the Miami, Florida area. Third team All-SEC this year, led A&M with 7 quarterback hurries. You just don't see guys that look like Shamar Stewart. You just don't. And he, I don't know if we have any real clips that we can show you from the week, but Shamar, here's one. Here he is. He just throws that guy down. Just pushes that guy down. Look at this guy's 285. That's the other thing. This is a defensive end. This is a true defensive end is 285. Does that look like 285 to you? Does that guy look 285? No. He looks more like 260. He's linear and fast. They had the 2 Shamars on that D-line. They had Shamar Turner, who I believe has a foot injury, but he's in this draft. He's a defensive tackle, another guy, 5-star. And then you got Shamar Stewart, who's 285, 290, but he's a defensive end, and he can dip his shoulder. Now, you're not seeing I guess you saw it a little bit there. But, this guy's got the ability to play defensive end. And when you think of Robert Saleh, when Robert Saleh was here, he played Eric Armstead at defensive end. So he may like a bigger body defensive end opposite Nick Bosa. And maybe Shamar Stewart will be their guy. Shamar is going to be there at 11 for sure. If they decided they wanted to trade down into the teens or early 20s, he's going to be there probably for them at that point. This guy's big time. This is a big time athlete. The A&M recruits a lot of good players, but this guy really stands out. Strong against the run, but he's got pass rush ability, can bend the edge at almost 290 pounds. I think if they wanted to, he's a versatile guy. He's scheme versatile. You could use him as a defensive tackle in your NASCAR package. The Niners use Sam O inside on obvious passing downs. I could see a situation where on first and second down, Shamar Stewart is opposite Nick Bosa. And then on some key third downs, you put him inside and you go with your NASCAR 4 defensive end alignment, and you've got this guy inside. And from the inside position, this guy's an incredible speed mismatch. So, he just overpowered that guy, and he just goes right by Jones. Right by him. Jones is a big-time player. Probably going to be a second-round pick. So there are very few guys that have Shamar Stewart's skill set. There just aren't there aren't guys like this. There aren't guys that are 280, 285 and are legitimate 4-3 defensive ends. And that's what this guy is. He's a 4-3 defensive end. And if you want a big-bodied guy opposite Nick Bosa, but also a guy who's athletic as hell and can get the edge, Shamar Stewart might be your guy. So love Shamar Stewart. Fantastic player. Probably going to go late first round. So he's number 5 on my list. And there's no real order. I just made a list of the guys that stood out to me